yeah, this the whole DACA thing, man. Trump ran on deporting illegal aliens, that they have to go back, and then they can reapply. And that's really what I think should happen. I don't think that, people are thinking that Trump, and look, he did say that he would revisit this issue if Congress does not act. Okay, they got 6 months to act. Okay, now, I guess there's two ways to think about this. Number one, some people are thinking, okay, Trump, he's screwing us over. He's gonna give in to these Democrats, these leftists. He's gonna approve these guys. Whatever, give them a chance for citizenship or whatever. Give them amnesty, and I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall. There is no Congress right now that can pass legalization of the illegals, the DACA people. Archie, what's up, man? How you doing? There's no way that the Congress is going to be able to pass something like that and then keep their jobs. Okay, and if Trump were to sign some kind of bill that gave these illegals amnesty, unfortunately, the Trump train, he would be off the Trump train. Now, Trump has always said, this is really important, that it's not about him, he's just a messenger. It's a movement. Trump is just a messenger. And that's true, and that's what people got to remember. Trump is just a messenger for the movement. Okay, it's an important movement, and he's just a messenger, right? But if he jumps off the Trump train and he gets kicked off, that's his fault, that's on him. There are other leaders that will step to the front and continue this movement. But this movement is, the pendulum has swung back, and it's still moving back and to the right. And that's just right of center. That's just where it is. Americans want to take their country back. They want to have laws enforced. They want to have their borders protected. And they don't want people coming into the country, depressing wages, creating crime, and destroying the country. I mean, there's really good parallels between the United States and Poland, or at least the V4, which have a similar kind of an attitude where they are very patriotic to their country, to their peoples. They want to protect their peoples. The governments want to do that. The people want to do that. And by and large, there's just no way you're going to change that in America. Now, the communists, the leftists, even the neocons, the globalists, they've been all trying to destroy the fabric of society in America since World War II, even before that, since 1919, since the Communist Revolution. And they couldn't win on any kind of intellectual argument, because, especially after Khrushchev came out and exposed Stalin for the bastard that he was, and of course, the Gulag a cappella by Stolshansky. When that book came out, exposing all the stuff that was happening under Stalin and communism, communism is dead. It's just not going to happen. So what they decided to do is try to divide Americans based on race, and the first avant-garde was the African Americans, right, to get them equal rights, and that probably was a good thing to give them. They should have equal rights, right? Yeah, definitely. Western democracies derive their historical and cultural ancestry to Christianity, really. Roman, let's call it Greco-Roman Christianity, right? The logic part from Socrates or from Plato, this sort of rational logic stuff, philosophy influencing obviously Rome bringing us another stuff, and Christianity bringing us logos, right, which is the rational order of things, and then incorporating some of the philosophical things and rational things from the Greeks and the Romans into like how we interpret it, how we understand God's word, what Jesus said, and that's the root of Western civilization. I mean, there's a book out there. It is on the torrents called "How the Catholic Church Created Western Civilization." Really, very important book. I mean, that really puts to rest these fantasies about how Islam did this or that. Islam didn't do shit. All it did was destroy shit for the most part. Okay, and that's where we're at. But I think the U.S. will survive communism. It has survived communism, and it has resisted communism. And for the most part, you can see with the Trump revolution, the move to the right, center right that has happened in America, since the Trump train has started, Trump has said he's just a messenger, and this movement is not going to stop. And it's moving, I think, worldwide as more and more peoples, and even in Western Europe, they're starting to wake up and realize, look, this has got to stop. Now, maybe they don't have a good understanding of how to make it stop or what to do now, but they know that this has to stop. So I think that's what's going to happen. Other things, I don't want to make a prediction here, but listen, you have you guys know Coach Red Pill? Really a great channel. I recommend you watch him. But he is really pessimistic. He claims to be realistic that Western Europe is over. Okay? And that's his sort of assessment. And it is based on sort of a logical analysis of the demographics, the demographic winner, Western women not having babies, this whole feminism stuff. And there's a lot of truth to that. And it may very well be game over for most of Western Europe, including the UK, he says. But for every action, there's always a reaction, and there is no known understanding of what the reaction will be, and whether it'll come out of nowhere, right? I mean, there was the so-called final solution for the Jewish people when the Nazi regime came up, and the Nazi regime was a reaction to the Versailles Treaty, which was destroying the German people, right? I mean, really, World War I and World War II are basically the same conflict, just stretched out. It's a really continuation of World War I. World War II is because of the really horrible peace treaty, or so-called Versailles Treaty, that was impressed upon the Germans. Now, you saw what happened there. And there was probably, what, they said only like 14% of the Germans people were actually in the Nazi party or part of the Nazi organization. And you can see what they did, what they were able to do. So to say that Western Europe is over and all is lost, and that there will not be some kind of reaction, I hate for it to be a violent reaction. Right now we're in the part where we can talk about it and say, listen, you people are not here legally, or you refuse to assimilate, so you need to leave. Whatever. I don't know. I don't want to make a prediction, but you can see the writing on the wall that it's not going to end well for both parties. But especially, well, for both parties. Let's put it like that. For people in the West, and also for these so-called invaders, hashtag Islam sucks balls people, who have no intention of assimilating. Those people are going to really, it's not going to be good. It's definitely not going to be good for them.